Good evening, hashtag my global family. This is your pastor, Dre Abeita, Coyote walking in this world and real life Isleta global superhero. How are you doing, my global family, on this American holiday? Let's be honest. I hope you are doing well, and I hope you have been able to carve out some time for self-care and to take care of your loved ones. Per tradition, family, I would like to start out this service acknowledging that we are an indigenous land. I'm sorry, family. That is my beautiful puppy who is having a little bit of a coughing attack. My apologies, family. But we loved our furry loved ones, and they also, when the weather acts up, they also have a little bit of coughing that happens as well. I love you, family. And today on Sundays, I love to spend time with my loved ones. So on this day, I hope that you have gotten some rest and you've been able to recharge your batteries. For those of us who are privileged to be off on a holiday tomorrow, I do believe it's a federal holiday. I hope you get some additional rest. So please sleep in tomorrow, family. If the world does not end and the sky does not fall, please get a little bit of rest. Per tradition, family, we are acknowledging that we are an indigenous land. Please take a moment to reflect and acknowledge upon whose land you stand. And I am talking about all the lands in all of our communities around the world, family, for all the people that have been displaced through war, through colonialism, through disease. And may we all remember to return to our roots, and that through really understanding who we are in an authentic manner, in a way to reclaim our heritage and our past, because we know who we are, family. We know who we are. No one can take away our identity from us. So please acknowledge all of the indigenous brothers and sisters around the world who have been displaced from their land. May they one day be returned so that they can be whole and start the process of healing. At this time, family, I am going to burn some sage, and I'm going to blend the cultural traditional heritage of our ancestors with that of modernity. And don't forget, family, right? We are Coyote's Lodge, House of Spirituality, because this coyote knows that in order for us to truly walk the path of our ancestors with all of our armor, with all of our blessings, that we must all work on our minds, our bodies, and our spirits. So family, please join me in prayer. And don't worry, family, if you are not a religious person, that is absolutely fine. I would like for you to send out some intentions into the world. Please think about what you would like to accomplish in 2021. Dear brothers and sisters and non-binary siblings around the world, we have been given opportunity, we have been given life, and we will use that opportunity in order to create change and hope for our communities. Dear ancestors, hi Gammy. It's your favorite mischievous granddaughter. And you know this coyote's been causing a little bit of trouble. Not too much, family. The right amount, right, Gammy? Because you taught me that women were fierce warriors for all of our peoples, but that we first started at home. And dear Gammy, there was nothing that you would not fight for when it came to your family and you passed on all of that fierceness to your daughters, my moms, and aunties, and your son. And believe me, family, my family is fierce, whether we like it or not. But that's because our matriarch, Isleta Hestia, was a hard, fierce warrior who literally provided and made sure that all of her children were safe and secure in this world, family. And she raised this coyote. And I have so much respect. So, dear Gammy, please look down upon your granddaughter and send her some wisdom and send her some patience. Because you know the everyday battle is not always easy. But we're good for it, Gammy, because you know with my sisters and my family, there ain't nothing that we can't accomplish. Because, dear family, you are never alone. Whew. Sorry, Gabby, went out. Wasn't paying attention. Well, you were my first example of a fierce woman warrior, and me and my sisters promise, Gammy, promise and pledge to continue your examples of tough love, but love nonetheless. Because, dear family, in these times, we need to love each other, but also be truthful about our existence. So thank you, Gammy, and thank you for guiding me as I walk the path that you have laid before me. Dear Papa, how are you doing? It was Valentine's Day, so you know there would have been some good treats down here for you. But I'm sure you're up there enjoying anything you like. Thank you, Papa, for all of your patience and for examples of love, because you were my Papa. And you helped me with my homework, and you smashed my eggs just right, and you made me little tiny tortillas in little shapes. And you made me feel safe and loved. So thank you, Papa. And may you send us some hope and some patience, because you were the most patient person I ever knew. And Papa, great grandpa, Pablo Abeita. Dear sir, thank you for all the inspiration and examples that you have given all of our peoples as an important historical figure. Because you proved to us that Indigenous people could do whatever we wanted, including becoming friends with presidents. So, dear Papa, though you walked with presidents as an Indigenous warrior and statesman for all our peoples when you were here in our community, so you also provide an example for us to follow today. And you know this coyote's got her eye on that big house that's white. And so she has big plans. And so, dear great-grandfather, please send all of your grandchildren and great-grandchildren and nieces and nephews from all over the world and all of our communities strength and wisdom as leaders of all of our communities stand forth and take up positions such as running for elections, raising communities and organizations, and providing spaces, being teachers in our communities, or literally going up every morning to work at Walmart to make sure their family is fed while providing for everyone else's. So thank you, Papa, for blessing all of your warriors in our everyday battles. And to all the rest of our aunties, uncles, papas, and adopted family, and everyone in between who has gone before us, please look down upon your community members and instill us with some love today. Because family, we choose how to walk in the world. And we can choose for this to be a capitalist day, or we can choose to embrace and celebrate the love of family, the love of our friends, the love of complete strangers who just treat you like a brother or sister as you walk through the journey of life. Dear brothers and sisters, I am so excited today for service. We are trying something new because I am filled with love. I am filled with happiness. And darn it, family, I just can't contain it. Sorry, Gabby. I know it's church. But this Coyote's happy. And why wouldn't we, family? We are walking the path that was set before us by the sacrifices that our families made so that we could be here today in 2021 to survive and thrive. So yes, family, I have a roof over my head. I have the love of my life waiting for me to finish work. I have yummy food waiting for me. And everyone that I know is well today. So there are many reasons for me to rejoice and celebrate. So dear family, join me in focusing on today's first reading. We're doing things a little bit differently because you know this pastor, Coyote, always wants you to think about how we can do things differently. How can we create humanizing practices that both blend our contemporary modern experience and reality with who we are as a people, with who any of my brothers and sisters are from around the globe, including my glorious brothers and sisters and my white allies. So dear family, today's first reading is actually a video. I would like for you to think about the idea of love today. I would like for you to think about what the real meaning of love is. Yes, this is a YouTube video, and I want you to continue to think about and reflect on what we consider legitimate ways of knowing. I want you to listen to this video. What is the real meaning of love? Juni Chawla with Sadhguru. And I want you to listen to their words, and I want you to embrace this message and think about what we can learn from these words about life.
Social media, the Facebook. We have one question from the social media, the Facebook. Amit Madan wants to know, in this materialistic age, the real feeling of love is disappearing from our life. Most of the love we receive from others and express to others is superficial. How can we reinforce the real feeling of love in our own life and in others?
Forget about others. If you learn to be loving by your own nature, not because of somebody else or something else. I know the question is coming from Facebook. There's an enormous possibility. You can even love those people who don't even exist. So I'm saying it's a tremendous possibility. So if you just become love, not love somebody, then you will know the nature of love. If you love somebody, it's a fickle happening because no human being will happen 100% the way you want them. Every human being on this planet is going to disappoint you, believe me. Not because they'll do something wrong, because nobody can fulfill the unrealistic expectation you have of them. It's simply not possible. Have you been able to fulfill anybody's expectation, I'm asking you, entirely? Partially, but never entirely, isn't it? So nobody else will be able to do it. Unless you're still such a hopeless romantic, you're still waiting. That ideal person is going to come from somewhere. No, believe me, whoever comes, I want you to know, the ideal people whom you worship, when Krishna was there, his wives complained. All right?
So there is no hope for us. Yes, please remember this.
Family, I would like for you to reflect on the words of our spiritual friend and brother, the words of another influencer, and I want you to think about the deeper message. What was the guru talking about? I would like for us to think about other cultures. I would like for us to think about the other people in our lives who have touched our lives, who may be different than us, and think about how they walk in the world. When he says to not put our love in people, but to become loving, what does that mean, family? And how often in our walk in this contemporary modern world, which literally says that your value as a human person is on how you look, how much money you make, how many people like you, how many followers you have on social media, how many false marks of success of this so-called happiness, including these marks of privilege, that I, as a coyote, have weaponized in order to ensure that our voices remain strong and always present. But I ask you a question, going back to the original question, family. What is love? And what does it mean? And what place can humanizing love have in 2021? What place does it need to have, family, in our modern day in which lives are lost due to a global pandemic? We have hope, and I am thankful that we have medical alternatives, family, but not every brother and sister of mine across the world has equal access to education, much less life-saving and critical, precious vaccination during a global pandemic. So I'm saying, brothers and sisters and non-binary siblings, that we need to think about how we literally create and force the humanizing change that we all need now for all of our sakes. How do we create a loving society in which we are not desperate for someone else to feel something with this modern construct of love, but rather become living embodiments of love ourselves? I would like for you to reflect upon that as we go to our second reading of the day. This is a What is Love video by Soul Pancake.
What does the word love mean to you? Wow. Ooh, love.
Love.
Love. Oh my goodness.
That means you love somebody. I think love is a way. Actually, I'm not really sure how to answer this question.
It's complicated. Love is a complicated thing.
Well, one of the definitions is that condition or state where the happiness of another is essential to one's own.
I say love is just a form of God.
Well, if you're talking family-wise, it means everything. But if you're talking like marriage, I mean, you can be single. I mean, that's kind of what I want to do.
Love is deep.
Oh, you're asking the wrong age group, because the first thing I want to do is say love means never having to say you're sorry.
Love means never having to say you're sorry. But I don't believe that at all, because I feel like you say you're sorry a lot.
Love to me is the greatest marketing campaign ever invented.
Love for me is being 100% vulnerable and all the way in,
You can love yourself first. But once you learn how to love yourself, you can love anything in this world.
Someone that loves you because you're you.
Love means accepting people where they are.
It has to be a two-way street. It can't just be, I'm accepting you, you got to accept me too.
I think that it's being able to do something for somebody else that maybe you wouldn't normally do, or maybe you wouldn't want to do, but you do it anyway because it's something that they want to do. Even if you hate it so much, you just would do anything because you want to be with them.
Love is a powerful thing.
And it makes you do the things you never thought you could do. And I think it makes life worth living.
Everything else becomes nothing. Okay, all that matters is that the whole two hearts, to expand to that infinity.
It means, in a funny way, freedom, because you're free to feel so many feelings so deeply.
Love to me is something you do on a day-to-day basis. And so you can hold affection and you can hold nostalgia. But I think love is active.
I always say I'd rather love someone than be in love with someone, because being in love with someone implies that you can fall out of it.
If you're really close to your family, I consider that love, right? So any other person, friend or family or love interest, if you see them as your family, then that's love.
Love means, to me, a big old kiss on your mouth, and you're not against it at all.
I'm married 55 years. Our job in life, the two of us, is to look after each other and see to it that we're our best selves, so to speak. So I try to help her be her best self, and she tries to help me. And to me, that's love. I hope to do that as long as I can stay awake.
It's like something you can dance about, or something you can sing about, or something you can build a building about. But I don't know. I don't really feel like words suffice when it comes to that.
Love means
I don't know. It's pretty great. I guess you can't describe it.
Love means a lot to me. It means a lot. I love my family, my grandchildren, all that. It means a lot.
Supercake, subscribe. I hope you enjoyed our 2 video readings today, family, because don't forget, our knowledge is in many forms. We are amazing human people, and we have various experiences, and we know our own experiences, and we know what our lives are like, and we know the struggles of our ancestors and everything that they have given up so that we have these opportunities today in these modern eras to literally dream big, family. my grandmother's dream. I was it. As so many of my sisters are, the dreams and legacies of their mothers and their grandmothers. And dear family, I ask you, when you reflect upon the second reading, when you look at that beautiful collection of thoughts, what spoke to you? My heart was rejoicing, and it grew bigger when it thought of the idea of self-love, the idea that when you come to love yourself, you are therefore able to have humanizing love for others. So I ask you, family, in this brand new year, what practices and what habits can we create to be kind to ourselves, to love ourselves without feeling as if it is selfish? Because that in itself, family, is harm. That in itself, family, is me hurting myself with a verbal lashing, dehumanizing myself when I think less because of that. And I'm asking you, family, we can only push ourselves to certain human limits. There is only so much we can do in a 24-hour period, because this coyote, although she be a superhero, is still flesh and blood, is still in the construct of 24 hours and 7 days a week, family. So I'm asking you to please let us start our journey in 2021 on this beautiful day of love, learning how to say to ourselves, I love you. And then, family, I say, go out and make sure that the people around you also know your love for them. Because also, family, in the second reading, when they were talking about saying sorry, when they were talking about helping each other grow to be better people, I was like, yes, that is love too. Love has many forms and many shapes, but it also helps us grow and become more. So dear family, on this amazing day of corporate love within the construct of capitalist America, driven by corporate greed, which enslaves our brothers and sisters who are stuck in low-wage jobs, despite how many degrees they have, because that is how the system is designed. Despite all of that negativity, family, and constructs that were legally constructed and socially constructed and racially constructed, I want us to take a step back. Whoop! Take a step back, take a step back, take a step back, and celebrate the joy. Go and revel in that candy, family. Go look at those beautiful roses, and you go enjoy that fancy dinner, or take out like we did with those hot wings and that Philly cheesesteak. So I'm just saying, family, you go do you, and let's go love ourselves and spread that humanizing love with our communities. Have a wonderful evening. This Coyote and Pastor Dre Abeita of Coyote's Lodge, House of Spirituality, Critical Theory, and Medical Marijuana. I bid you a happy Valentine's Day, family, and a good evening. I love you. Go have a wonderful evening.